the first thing that all of you will note, though, is this circle of standing stones. And since you have been living here for a week, I assume we won't even go into any roles or anything for it. Well, isn't this where the black magic is boiling up from? I mean, look, did you see those standing stones? You know what? So at this point,
We go and look.
it seems like there's nothing. One of them has fallen over. They're old. These are really old. These date back to the culture that was here before your ethnicity moved in.
Okay.
And they don't seem to, at least as far as you can tell, nobody's speaking about them as a problem. If you pointed that out, there's, those old things.
So no one there. That hasn't happened anything there.
Yeah.
Like
But
recently.
people haven't scattered. or
No,
fled.
no. That's another important point. When you start seeing what's going on, I will say none of you is a wizard, so we are not going to talk about magical senses. So to you, the place, it's like, well, there's black magic everywhere. Where are the zombies, right? Where's the horde? Where's the portal that the demons are coming out of? Where's the stench and the rot that we
Have we
would
not
expect?
arrived yet?
Yeah, it doesn't feel too urbanjo around
Difference
here.
how we see spells compared to wizard.
No, the way your spells look are the same as they always look.
I mean,
Yeah.
do we treat them more like this is
Ah.
power or gift I have,
Right.
while a wizard
Correct.
might have studied
Yes.
them more closely to attain them?
Correct. A wizard definitely has undergone almost a shamanic transformation in the context of a demon or an eidolon or a zone. And you have simply been trained.
Okay.
And that's all. Also, the circle looks at it differently from everybody else. They regard it, any other person who uses magic regards themselves as a representative of one of the sides, as a member of one of the sides of this conflict. You are like, these are tools. And so either you are right, or you are in for a lot of, or you are causing double the trouble.
Of course we were right.
So let's talk a little. Where would your character would be involved with living in the better, of these longhouses?
Okay. Yeah.
You would have already, had food. There's deer, venison meat. The deer meat is common. You would have been eating a lot of that, as in addition to the farming is minimal. Farming has been and also as a high martial person, you would have spotted that their defensive arrangements, that they can kind of snap their fingers and everybody who can fight will be ready. It's a little readier than most places. There are bows, there are arrows, there are spears that have been placed at specific places in the community. There is not a single house that doesn't have a shield.
But this was
hanging on
done
it.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
And
is the way
common.
they live.
This is common here.
This is
what I
this is
grew
a
up
little
with.
this is a little more than that.
Oh, it is a little more.
These people are not going to scatter. These people are going to stand
they're
and
gonna
fight. Yeah.
But the laws of hospitality pretty much guarantees our safety. So
Well, I wouldn't say
no.
guarantee.
Yeah.
Let's say that you have so far settled in
Yeah.
pretty nicely and not being fools,
Mhm.
you have not gotten into anyone's face.
Mhm.
Anywhere in the Crescent Land, if you show up and the first thing you do is put your face in someone else's, there's going to be 7 spears sticking in you.
Mhm.
So you're all perfectly reasonable. Yes, we're the ones you heard about. That's me.
But
You
we're
know,
not
where's
always-
my-
Yeah.
Where do I sleep?
Where's my throne?
Yeah, where do I get to sit?
Yeah.
And be willing to hear the stories of the people there, and fit in.
But have they been telling anything about this black? Like, if we can't see traces of it, what does they say about it?
That's what we are going to look at
Oh.
now through the lenses of your characters and the ways that you want to investigate this sort of thing. because the main thing you are finding is that they are mostly concerned with raiders from the West. They're mostly concerned with raiders who are frequent and brutal. And so you are welcomed very much as, you two especially, and circle people, yes, you're badasses, you are fighters, you have, weapons, you are not wearing your armor, it's in a wagon.
Yeah.
Right? Your big weapons,
Right.
your spears and things, they're in a wagon. But they know, you show up and they know, and you are welcome. It's assumed that you're here. You would join us. You would fight with us. We're feeding you after all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, so the concern is raiders. You have found that the place is there is no several generations of gentry here. Apparently, this place was almost burned to the ground within living memory, and has been put together by remaining people. So one of the people you're going to meet was not raised to the martial profession and is not a fighter. But she does seem to be kind of the heart of the community, and the people who can fight listen to her. But she doesn't introduce herself as Ingeborg, daughter of so-and-so who fights for this town. She's just Ingeborg, who seems to be the social center of, and could really use some people who know what they are doing.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the person that you have been interacting with, and she's younger than you might want for somebody with that kind of social role.
Are you all playing males?
No.
Yeah.
So you're playing male, and we're playing female.
That's wonderful. I love it.
Amazing.
Right?
Amazing. That's good.
I'm liking this
Yeah.
group. We are going to have
It's
a good
really
time
nice.
with this. Yeah.
It's so often everyone plays male, and then
Right.
I feel like a female, I should play female, but I'm
Yeah.
not
Right.
doing it.
Yeah.
No, well, you took one look at Berthold. And
Yeah. It was just like, it's a psycho, it's a man.
Yeah.
Typical man.
Typical man.
So now, so the beginning of this, we are going to play a little quietly, a little, relaxed in terms of your social interactions. But I want to get a look at whom you would mostly be dealing with, Ingeborg and other hardened people who she relies upon to maintain against the next raid.
Yeah.
And they have been successful enough in this that
But they talk more about the next raid.
Yes, they
Not
do.
about the demons.
correct.
Okay.
Although that's what, then that's what you in particular are kind of keeping an eye on.
That's
Yeah,
more what I want, or my
Absolutely.
character wants to see. What
Right.
about the demons?
absolutely.
Like, that's
Absolutely.
why we're here.
So
Why I left.
The source, our original source when we were down here, what was that?
yes,
It's just
yes,
Rumors.
yeah. The rumors and tales that brought you here are about that.
Okay.
And now all of you are thinking, now why didn't we bring one of the wizards in the circle who could sniff this crap out? Because they usually don't have to.
No,
Right?
No.
It's
Because
usually
we
pretty
usually
easy,
see it.
right?
Yeah. Mm.
So that's it's at the moment let's investigate, okay?
Mhm.
So in your ordinary social interactions, let's even put it in an evening when the local brew is brought out, the lamps that look like a long dish with the wick in them, right? They have those burning, and then they sprinkle some local herbs in it. So now it smells good, right? There's this long, low house. The fire never goes out, ever. And that's the case for most places. And you have been there long enough that now you have basically learned the geography and picked up what I talked about before. These seem like a tougher, more determined group, and they have obviously been through one big, ferocious, disaster. Things are finally easing into the point where the conversations would be a little bit less formal. They're beginning to trust you. They're beginning to say, all right, this person can seem to operate in the community. They've been taking care of your horses. They've been, I wouldn't say welcome you, but you are no longer feared as a potential outlaw or source of violence right here.
And I guess that we're contributing to the community with
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. You've each, that's what we were saying. Each of you has kind of fitted in. You have not, said anything tremendously offensive yet.
Wait till
Just wait. Exactly. So, but now you're going to see something. Given that, ordinarily, if you were rolling to accomplish something and you have not done that, you're going to get 1 die when you don't want just 1 die.
Yeah.
And so if you're out in these areas where you have not been taken or not spent time, none of you is an outdoorsman, so none of you has been hunting up here, for example. If one of you found yourself up here and tried to orient yourself, you would only have 1 die. But in the social circumstances that we have all talked about so far, 2, the baseline.
Does it matter which color we have?
For these rolls, no.
Okay.
And so you are this is going to be a wits roll, not your strongest.
But I am the strongest in the group.
That's right. And so you would be rolling those 2 dice, add them together, and then add your wits.
Yeah, so we're all rolling.
12?
12, which is quite nice because 12 is always the target number.
Oh.
There will never be another target number. It is always 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned from you the way you have talked that your character is going to ease the conversation more toward Herbaja.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm thinking like he's talking about maybe why he left.
Right. You could talk about your key event.
So like he talks about how he has to kill his son.
Ah.
And the demons were laughing, and
Right.
Francesca was aiming axes and just throwing them around.
Right.
So he talks about that to see if he can get a connection to what's happening, or
Right.
like a flink or something like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's an excellent example.
Mm.
And you pick it up that they are that yes, there is Herbaja magic here, but they say here, just let it alone. That's not the problem.
Oh.
Just let it alone. And it's Ingeborg, actually. It's the other fighters, the other scarred guys, who have welcomed you in, and you have perhaps, practiced a little bit with them, or they have shown you. You now know exactly. If there is a raid, you know where you are taking your horse, with whom. It's all understood among them. None of them answer.
Do they, when I asked, do they look away?
Yeah.
Oh. They look away. Oh, so they don't even.
And they look away, and 2 of them look at Ingeborg.
Oh.
And so this young, non-fighting woman, younger than anyone else here, who's a potter. That's what she does. She makes pots from the clay from the seashore. So, and she answers and says, "It is here. But we need your spears and your shields." When the time comes, you will see. You'll see why we. Yeah, you'll see how this can help.
Okay.
Says, and even then one of the older guys will cut in and say, "You're living here with us now. These are our ways." one of them touches the crow symbol that they are wearing, just as a reflexive action, just touches it. So they're not trying to be mysterious.
No, okay.
This is, and also again, we have that kind of Nordic German thing. They're not chatty.
No.
Right? So nobody says, "Oh, stranger, let me tell you all about this." No, as far as they're concerned,
But I mean,
they just did. That's their way. That's
Yeah.
the way they just did tell you.
Bertel just told them about his family and killing
Right.
and all that.
That's
and
true.
Like, yeah.
And one of them might even say, that's we hear your story. It says we have made our arrangements. We have found our way with such things.
And you gonna show us that way? Or?
Right. And so having, made your wits roll,
Yeah.
now it's time for charm.
Oh.
And especially Ingeborg is also, you may notice something. Her ice blue eyes have not left you while you are chatting this up with these other people.
Okay.
And if you, and you're like, well, okay, clue me in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now it's time for your charm roll.
Yeah. Is it still too?
Yes,
like
it is.
Yeah.
Add that charm, because here is where Ingeborg decides. Keep going. Here is where
You're always
you're
gone.
doomed
go.
now. Okay. This is where Ingeborg decides whether you are kin to her or not,
No.
ideologically.
You are clueless.
She will say, at this point, she gives the social signal to everyone else and says, "They are our guests." That's bad news. What that means is we won't kill them today.
Oh, right, yes.
That's exactly what that means.
Yeah.
And you see it. The little camaraderie that you have felt among
I was
these
too
guys.
friendly to them.
Yeah,
Or
that's
like,
true. Yeah. Well, but you had been a little more. They'd begun to factor you into their plans, right, for how we are dealing with these things. Each one of them subtly, socially shifts away from that.
I feel a cold breeze.
You do.
Because there's just too much
do.
space
Yeah.
on the sides now.
So that's what's going on with you. Let's find out how it's going with some of the only other person who necessarily would be probing in this regard would be you, of course.
I think Elster would be targeting Ingeborg primarily.
Okay. Given yours, actually, yeah. So this is interesting.
Gives
Yeah.
the priestly
Kind of a vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, she and other people are definitely going to be doing.
Do they have a priest in the?
They don't.
No.
As a matter of fact.
Is
they're-
that a common thing to have
No,
a priest?
well,
or are they more like
They
traveling?
most of them travel about, especially in Famberger,
Okay.
right? The communities are not stable enough. But I will also point out that you can see that there was a nice little place to sit, a little kind of hut area that was a nice place to sit with rugs and things, and was clearly a place where there would be nothing better to do than to hang out and talk. And you will see, and it is still used, but it is used by anybody.
Okay.
And that is the place that has a full runic raven, decoration on the side. And so people will go in there and they might smoke a little pot and talk a little bit with each other, or just, they will often bring these strips of cloth that are used as commemorating the dead.
Okay.
So they might bring that from their family and go in there, and it's mostly open. You can see into it.
We have been here for a while. haven't
Yeah,
we?
uh-huh.
So does Ingeborg use this?
Yeah.
hunt?
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah, as
Then
a matter
I'll
of fact,
try to time when she does.
there you go. Okay, this is actually very appropriate for you as well. So it's not like a social bad thing for you to go up and bother somebody in their religious devotion. That's what you do.
Yeah.